And I was like, okay, well, now I need to go to a bank and get this money. My first thought was, well, before I go to a bank and try and get this money, what about if I ask Mark? So I set a meeting with Mark and I told him the whole situation of everything that had happened. Within like 1.5 months of him telling me this information that he was selling the property to developers and that I had 3 months, I told him that I ended up having customers that purchased 25 acres for me and I'm gonna be moving there in Bridgeport. And he was astonished and he was like, wow, that's amazing. He was like, no way. And I, just like how I was like, and I told him everything that happened, how I sent the email and showed him everything. And he said, wow. He said, Michael, you are very industrious. At the time, I was just like, oh, thank you so much. And I didn't even have any idea what industrious meant until after the meeting. I Googled it and then I learned that it was like a very hardworking, diligent person that just doesn't stop no matter what. And I was like, well, thank you very much. And so then I told him, but I don't have a house and I don't have storage, and that's one of the biggest things that I would need. Would you be open to loaning me some money? And then I told him how much. And he said, well, that's a lot of money, Michael. And I said, yes, sir, it is. I totally understand. And I said, I don't want you to feel obligated to say yes. If it's a no, it's a no. I completely understand. It's no problem at all. He said, okay, let me review all of this. I had given him a price sheet of literally everything I was going to purchase and the total at the end. He said, let me talk with my wife and we can talk soon. I said that I totally understand, that works. I just said, thank you for taking the time to even talk to me right now. I really appreciate it. He said, of course. I shook his hand and I walked out the office. I remember just being at my desk and being so nervous and scared. The next day, I got a text from him and he said, hey, call me. So I called him and he said, hey, Money Mike. And I was like, hey, what's going on, Marky? And he says, I talked it over with my wife and we're gonna let you borrow the money. And I said, are you serious? Oh my gosh, Marky, like, you're seriously making my dream come true. Like, there's no way. Are you serious? And he was like, we want to help you out and you already gotten this far. We want to make sure you're doing well. You're going to do well. And we trust that you're going to do well. And I was like, yes, sir, of course I am. And I said, I'm going to be the best farm in Texas. And he says, you're going to be the best farm in the world. And I was like, yes, sir, I like that attitude. Yes, sir. And he said, don't let me down. And I said, no, sir, I won't. I said, I won't. And I said, thank you so much, Marky, again, for this opportunity. You're seriously making my dreams come true. He said, of course, man, I love hearing that. So we hang up the phone and I was super excited, of course. I was like, I have everything is into place, everything is in motion. It was like perfect. And I genuinely couldn't have believed it. So after we had made that call, I mean, it was game on.